Hello, today I want to do a little bit of criticizing the media. And I know if you go wild and crazy with your imagination, you might say, hey, Brian, you're kind of part of the media too. Well, that's fine. Use my criticisms against me. Today, I want to talk about the most common news story out there when it comes to investing, when it comes to the markets. And that is the market was up or the market was down because of X. And I'm going to tell you, these authors really don't have the slightest idea what's causing it. What am I talking about? I'm talking about these news headlines, right? The market was down because of COVID. Remember COVID. The market was down because of the Fed's new inflation outlook. Remember the Fed. And yeah, we couldn't possibly anticipate that the Fed would change its outlook given the data that we've seen. No, the market's down because of a big bank quarterly result, or the market's down because of just the market itself is kind of second guessing itself. We see the same thing when it comes to the markets going up, right? The market was up for a rebound rally, or the market was up because of pent-up savings. Or, yep, you guessed it, the market's up because of pandemic, even though last week it was down because of the pandemic. Same thing with the Fed. The market's up because of the Fed. These two Fed statements, the one I showed you previously and this one, same week, right? One day it made the market go down and one day it made the market go up. Same kind of information, right? It was up because of a strong jobs report, or was up because of a brighter economic data, right? We see this over and over again. And I'm telling you, these guys are wrong. And why do I say that? Well, just because I feel that way. But let's go back and look at Black Monday. So 1987, massive market sell-off, right? It was pandemonium everywhere. Well, there were lots of reasons in the news for why this happened, right? It was, hey, well, the stock market kind of dropped a few days beforehand, so it's just an extenuation of that. Or there was a big drop that morning, and then it caused it to go even crazier. Or there was trade deficit numbers that were bad, or the producer price index was bad, or whatever. There was all these things. These are actual news headlines for the time when that market went down. And we actually had a guy here, Robert Shiller, came in and said, hey, why don't we ask investors themselves instead of pontificating on all what the reasons were? Why don't I just actually go out there and ask some investors? So that's what he did. And when he did that, what he found out was none of those stories were right. None of them had really anything to do with it. People did think there was some importance, but there was only a very slight relation to the importance they assigned to that news article and how they acted, right? They said, look, we were all super anxious about it. We were actually more anxious than our behavior would have suggested. They also said, look, we just thought we could predict the market. We also thought, hey, even buyers and sellers at the time prior to the decline said, hey, the market's kind of overvalued here. They also thought, look, had a lot to do with everybody else's psychological behavior was causing this. Technical analysis, they looked at changes in investment strategy. They actually kind of changed as the day went on. But the one thing that really kind of struck out to me here is the portfolio insurance, right? That's what we kind of look back now, X number of years later and say, hey, it was all the portfolio insurance, but it turns out that was really only a small part of what was going on here. So turns out all the news stories, complete nonsense. What actually was happening with the investors, completely different out there. And the same is true today. Look, all these news headlines are there to get you to read them. It's all about entertaining you. But all the times they say it was up because of this, or it was down because of that, they just don't know. They don't have the slightest idea out there. So just keep that in mind. That's all I have for you today. Happy trading out there, regardless of what you think's causing the markets to go up or down. I'm Brian Kozlowski. Thank you so much.